Good morning, students. Welcome to your English language class. In your previous session, you had learnt the uses of little, a little, the little, few, a few, the few, less, and fewer. Today, we will continue the chapter, the correct use of some adjectives. By the end of this video, you will be able to differentiate between each and every, either and neither, elder, eldest, older, oldest, each other and one another. Use these adjectives in the sentences of your own. Let's understand how to use each and every. Students, each means one of two things or one of any number exceeding 2. Let's take up some examples. The two soldiers had each a gun. Children, here we are referring to two persons, so each has been used. 5 boys stood in each row. Here, each row means there are more than 2 rows. Supposing there are 5 rows, 5 boys stood in each row. That means there are total number of 25 boys and each row has 5 boys. Every is always used when we are speaking of some number exceeding 2. It is used when we are talking about a group where the number of people is indefinite. Students, if we talk about the students in a particular class, then the number of students is definite. For example, there are 40 students in class 8th. But if we talk about citizens in a country, it can be any number of people. So, the number of citizens is indefinite. Children, look at these examples. Dash student in the class had completed the work. India expects dash citizen to do his duty. Now what will you fill in the first blank? The number of students in the class is limited or definite. So we will use each. It will be each student in the class had completed the work. Students, in the second sentence, there can be any number of citizens. So we will use every. It will be India expects every citizen to do his duty. Students, note that each and every are always followed by a singular noun. For example, each student, each citizen, each row. We cannot say each students, each citizens, each rows. Let's proceed further. Either and neither. Children, either and neither are used when we are speaking of two persons or things. We can't use either and neither if the number of the persons or things is more than 2. Either and neither are followed by a singular verb. Either has 2 meanings. The first is one or other of 2, when there is a choice out of 2. For example, I shall support either Mukul or Nikunj. Children, we have a choice between Mukul and Nikunj. So we have used either. Either Ram or Shyam will win the painting competition. Here we have a choice between Ram and Shyam. Either Ram will win or Shyam will win. Out of 2, only one will win. Now we move on to Second meaning, each of two or both. For example, there are trees on either side of the road. It means there are trees on both sides of the road. Students, know that if we will use both in the sentence, we will say both sides. But if we will use either, we will say either side, not sides. There was a huge fireplace at either end of the hall. It means there was a fireplace at the both ends of the hall. Let's move on to neither. It is negative of either. Either means one or other of two. Neither means not the one, not the other. That is none of the two. Let's take up examples. Neither side won the match. It means there were two teams playing. Neither the first team won nor the second team won. It must have been a draw. Kavita belongs to neither group. Again, we are referring to two groups. Kavita belongs neither to first group nor to second group. Students, let's learn the use of elder, eldest, older, oldest. Elder, eldest and older, oldest are comparative and superlative degrees of old. Whenever we are talking about members of the same family or people related by blood, we use elder or eldest. Older and oldest are used of persons or things in general. Elder and eldest can be used for the person only, while older and oldest can be used for both persons and things. Students, let's take up examples. He is my elder brother. His eldest son joined the army. Students, both the sentences show blood relations. Let's proceed further. He is the oldest man in the village. Geeta is older than Rita. Students, in these sentences, we can see that the subjects are not related by blood. Students, keep in mind that comparative degree is always followed by than, but if we have to make a choice out of two, then instead of using than, we use the with the comparative degree. Let's take up examples. Of the two sisters, Ria is the elder. Children, here we are talking about two sisters related by blood. So we are using elder. But we are making a choice out of these two. So we will use the with elder. She is the elder of my two daughters. Children, again we are making a choice out of two. So we will use the elder. Let's move on to each other and one another. Each other shows the mutual relationship between two persons or things, whereas one another shows the mutual relationship between more than two persons or things. The examples are Sushma and Madhu quarreled with each other. Children, here we are talking about two persons, so we have used each other. The two friends like each other. Here they are two friends, so we have used each other. Sushma, Madhu and Anuradha quarreled with one another. Students, here we are talking about more than two persons. So we have used one another. They all abused one another. Here also we are talking about more than two persons. So we have used one another. That's all for today. Your homework is solve exercise 8, E, G and H part on your books.